A friend of mine just posted on Facebook that she was having a really, really hard time after the debate between President Trump and Vice President Joe Biden. Uh, and she was having a really hard time because she didn't understand how people could support Donald Trump. In her opinion, he's racist, he's xenophobic, he's mentally ill, he's cruel, and he's just not that bright. And she couldn't understand how people that she loved could support him. She's very, very committed to uh, confronting racial injustice. She's very committed to kindness and love and connection, and to have what she believes is a display of cruelty uh, and uh, and just not our better nature uh, in the president of the United States is not something that she can support and can't understand why people that she loves supports them, and it's destroying her relationships. And I'm seeing article after article after article about how this political divide, the vitriol, is killing relationships. So I decided we're going to talk about that today. So now it's early October. This is Friday, and the president and his wife have just revealed that they tested positive for COVID, as did the head of the RNC. And so we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're in the middle of racial stress. We're in the middle of a health crisis. And whether you believe in masks or don't believe in masks, and don't believe whether you believe this is dangerous or you don't believe in the dangers, this is a really tough time. We are in fight or flight, all of us. We are not at our best. When you're in fight or flight, you are not your most creative. You're not your most connected. You're not at your best. So you really can't give other people the benefit of the doubt. So this political vitriol is as much a product of the divide that we've had for years as it is the life and death situation we feel we're in every area. It's just frightening economically, health wise. It's just in so many areas. But I have found some healing in this area, and I reached out to my friend to say, listen, I'd like to talk to you about this because I have found some healing. So that's what we're going to talk about. It's a little tough for me to share with you today because I don't really want to talk about politics, but we're going to do that. And by the way, if you're a Trump supporter, bear with me. You and I do not agree, but bear with me. I'm hoping that this is a useful conversation. So I am not a Donald Trump fan. When Donald Trump was a Democrat, before he was political, before when he was just on The Apprentice, even before that, I grew up in New York. I knew Donald Trump almost all my life. I knew of him, and my mother sent me The Art of the Deal. I asked her to send it back because I believe the man is a narcissist. I believe he is dishonest. I believe he's a mobster. I always believed he couldn't get credit in the United States and he got money from foreign governments to float himself. I know he was bankrupt several times. And I believe that his whole family has always been racist. Uh, so that's what I think of Donald Trump. So when he won in 2016, I was destroyed. I was devastated. I could not believe that the country that I love would support a man who I think is, well, he started his whole political career on birtherism, which is a racist concept. Um, Again, if you're a Donald Trump supporter, hopefully you can bear with me. So I don't like Donald Trump. um, but I reached out to this person because I have had to find healing when it came to this. Uh, there are people in my life who are very close to me, who I love with all of my heart, who support Donald Trump. And I have had a really hard time with it for a long time of how can you support, again, what I see as a racist, cruel, uh, mentally ill person. Um, how can you support this? Um, and I did a lot of inquiry on this because these relationships were really important to me and I wasn't willing to let them go. Um, so I did a lot, I do what I always do. I journal a lot. I do self-inquiry. I spend a lot of time realizing that, My perceptions aren't always right. I am not always right. In fact, I'm almost always not right. The sages will say that we do not see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. We do not experience the world as it actually is. Think Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, actually being present without our filters, which is almost impossible. So we do not see the world or do not experience the world as it is. We experience it as we are through our projections, our conditioning, where we grew up. So I spent a lot of time, wondering, how can I love these people? I know they have loving hearts. I know they're not racist. Uh, I know they're, they're good people. And how do I reconcile the fact that I see a monster in the White House, which, you'll say, if you're on the other side of the aisle, you will probably say I'm a little hyperbolic. But I see a monster, my experience is a monster in the Oval Office where other people that I love and respect thought Obama was pretty bad and thought Hillary Clinton was a monster. Um, and then it finally dawned on me. It finally dawned on me that I don't live in the same world as anybody else. And I've always known this spiritually. It's practically that's been really hard. Spiritually, I know we all live in our own worlds. We all live in our own perceptions. We all live in our own conditioning. When it came to politics, all bets were off there because these are people I love and I feel threatened. So again, remember that fight or flight thing. I feel threatened that people don't see the danger that I see in Donald Trump. Now they feel threatened that I didn't see the danger in Hillary Clinton. So back to how do I deal with these relationships? How do I find love when the stakes seem to be so high? Uh, a mishandling of a pandemic, the economic crisis, the racial injustice, right? Um, if that's my world, if that's what I'm seeing, how do I reconcile this with people who seem to support that? And it dawned on me. So let's say I have uh, a black cup sitting in my hand. I have a mug and it's black, but you see it's black, but I look at it and I see it's yellow. You can't convince me it's not yellow. The cup is black, but I see yellow, and you cannot convince me that the cup is not yellow. In fact, my sanity rests on the fact that I experience and I see it as yellow. Now let's take my other person who's really close to me, and they look at the cup and they see green. The cup's green to them, and you can't tell them it's not green. Now remember, the cup's black, I see it's yellow. It actually is black, but I see it's yellow. Now this other person sees it's green. You can't tell them that it's not green. In fact, their sanity rests on the fact that they see it's green. It must be green. It has to be green. And you're like, what's wrong with you people? The cup is black. And you're actually living in reality. But I see it's yellow and they see it's green. And that's where my epiphany came is, oh, I see it's yellow. They see it's green. We're not going to convince each other. We're not going to give each other facts that are going to change our minds that the cup is either yellow or green. We can fight until we're blue in the face, but we're never going to agree that the cup isn't yellow or green. And remember, the cup is black, but we come with it with our own perceptions. And that's where I got my freedom, is that I realized that if they saw what I saw, they would probably think what I think. If they experienced what I experienced, they would probably have opinions that are much more close to mine, but they don't. And I don't see what they see. I absolutely do not see what they see, but they do. And I need to respect that. I need to, if I want to have any semblance of relationship, now again, I don't have to condone it. I can work for Joe Biden. I can work against Donald Trump all I want. But if I want the relationship, I need to understand that I need to get somebody else's world. I need to understand somebody else's world. I need to understand what they see. I would like them to understand what I see. And that's the basis of relationship. It's not a difference of opinion, is what I've figured out. It's not a difference of opinion. And this is where I finally got separation from political views, from societal views, to actually what's in someone's heart, who they are. Uh, Again, there are real things happening in the world that need to be addressed. It doesn't mean you don't stop doing that. It doesn't mean that you don't argue your case. It doesn't mean that you don't work towards certain things. But for the sake of relationship, the only way this is going to heal, the only way this is going to get any better for either side, is for us to remember relationship. Not Byron Katie, Brene Brown. I went to see Brene Brown, and Brene Brown kind of believes more in the realm where I believe of, but she comes from Texas, and she said, "You will never, ever, ever take any of my uh, red, right-leaning people away from me. I love them with everything I have." And she says, "You can't hate up close. You can only hate from far away. You can only hate when you dehumanize people." Um, so for me, in this political climate, with the people that I love and cherish, and I'm not willing to give up, I had to dig deep and define myself to understand and to figure out how to get their world, how to understand that it's not a difference of opinion, that their hearts are good, that they do want the best outcome, uh, and even if it doesn't seem to be what I think it should be, I know who they are. I know who their hearts are, and that's how I've been able to maintain these relationships and deepen these relationships and become more intimate. My head really screams out loud watching the debate, seeing what's happening out, but my heart knows who my people are. My gut and my heart know who these people are. And that's what I want to impart for you, is really take a deep breath. We're in fight or flight. This is horrible times. This is really terrifying things. The coronavirus got to the president and the first lady, and people who are severely protected. Um, the economic crisis is horrible, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. There's so many reasons, and there's so many things that look so real to be terrified of. We're not at our best. So take a deep breath, go into your heart, and find where you connect with the people who you disagree with. Don't give up your relationships. Don't make the politics the reason why you and someone you care about and someone you love have to go separate ways. You can set boundaries, you can decide what you can and can't talk about, but absolutely, it's so important that we keep these relationships. It's the only way we're going to heal going forward. This will pass. There will be a time of renaissance. Maybe things needed to break apart. If you watch, there's a Byron Katie video where, Donald Trump is good, Donald Trump is bad, and we go through. We don't know if what any of this is good or bad. Let's see what happens. But the only way we're going to see what happens is together. So if you're listening to this, I'm going to ask you to step up and deepen your relationships. Find out somebody else's world before you um, destroy them for their opinion. All right, this is a hard one to make. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it's useful. I love you no matter who you support, and that's my goal. Have a great rest of the day.